Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So as you may have guessed from the title, today's video is going to be about Rampwalk basics, and I'm gonna dive straight into the video today. So when we talk about Rampwalk, there are two types of walk basically. The first being pageant walk and the second being model walk. Now what is the difference between these two kinds of walk? In a pageant walk, it's more flirtatious and you have expressions, and basically the pageant walk has to showcase your personality, and the movements are a bit louder compared to the model walk. Whereas in a model walk, you have to maintain a very poker expression and the focus has to be on the garment that you're carrying and not the model. So as you may have seen in fashion shows and wherever you have, the model is always like she has a blank expression, and they don't want you to smile because otherwise the viewer is going to get distracted and he's going to look at your face. But they want you to look at the garment instead. So that is the basic difference between them. But the basic theory that goes into both of those walks, that is the posture that you have and the fluidity that has to be there in your movement, that is common in both of them. And the next thing is that the walk also varies. There's not only one kind of walk. Between both pageant and model walk, the walk varies a bit depending on the garment that you're carrying. Now you would walk differently if you're wearing say a jeans and a top, and you would walk very differently if you're wearing a lehenga, and similarly in an evening gown the walk has to be a bit different, basically how you carry it, if it has a trail, the turns that you have to take, the way your legs are positioned, do you have your legs apart, do you have them together, all of that makes a difference. So now in this video I'm just gonna teach you the basics that go behind into the posture that you're going to hold at the beginning of the ramp and the head of the ramp, that is when you reach the judges or the viewers, wherever the end of the ramp is. Now the first thing that you have to keep in mind while positioning your stance is, first thing we start with the feet. Now the feet, normally you would stand like this, but when you have to have a pageant walk specifically, your feet have to be perpendicular to each other, that is a T shape. If your left foot is like this, your right foot goes perpendicular to your left foot. That is the basic number one thing that you will have to do. What it does is, when you have your feet perpendicular to each other, you automatically go into an angle that is more pleasant to look at, and you will look slightly slimmer. Every time you face someone horizontally, that is parallel to the viewer, you're going to look a bit broad, whereas if you angle yourself, you can look slimmer. The second thing will move upwards in your body now. Basically, you have to suck in your stomach. Remember, this pageant position is always something that you have to be consciously thinking about, and over time with practice it's going to become muscle memory. So first things first, we have to suck in our stomach, we have to pull yourself up, you have to look taller. You don't want to cut down on your height, you want to look taller. So pull yourself, and in the process you will push your shoulder blades back, and you should look very erect and straight, like you should have a good posture. At the same time, when your hands are resting, either it would be on your waist, like one hand would be on your waist, but the hand that is facing the judges, that is your front arm, would not be on your waist, because it's gonna look like you're hiding your waist. You want to show off the shape that you have, like females have this shape, right? The waist goes inside and the hips go outside. So you want to show that because it looks nice to look at. So when you do that, your front arm is going to rest, the fingers have to be relaxed, and the fingers will gently rest on your upper thigh, and you have to break your elbow, that is bend your elbow very slightly and reveal that curve that you have in your body. Don't hide it with your arm. Sometimes we tend to put our arm in front of our body. It shouldn't be like that. It should be slightly behind and on the side. So you will see that curve. Now this angle is very different for everyone's body. If say you are slightly broader at the hips, then you want to turn yourself a bit more. And I can explain this as much as I can on video, but in person I think walk can be taught even better, because depending on your height, the curves that you have in your body, if your lower body has a different proportion from your upper body or vice versa, basically you'll have a particular angle which you will have to decide by looking at yourself in the mirror, which angle works best for you, what makes you look the best. So moving on, I'm going to start this is the stance. Now how do you start the walk? First things first, we always start walking with your front foot. It's very unnatural and awkward to start walking. Don't bring your back leg in front of you and start walking. Always start walking with the leg that is already in the front, which is mostly going to be your right leg, because that is the standard that is almost followed all the time in national pageants. The walk choreography and rules slightly differ when you go to international pageants. Now after you walk, starting with your front foot, a lot of people always have this question. Myself, when I learned how to do the ramp walk, I always used to think that the sway that you have to do, basically when your waist moves, it's not sideways guys, it's forwards. It's basically when you step forward you go like this. It's not, you don't walk like this, matak matak ke nahi chalna hai. We have to just be very graceful, and there has to be fluidity in your movements all the time guys. That's very important. Like you can learn the different poses, like this is a pose, this is a pose, but then when you move from one pose to another, it has to be very graceful. Basically you have to shift your weight in a very graceful manner, and that again comes with practice. Now apart from the sway being forwards, also remember when you land on your feet, basically whatever a model walk or a pageant walk is, you've noticed it looks like, especially if you look at Catriona lava walk, it looks like she's just floating on water or something. So that's because it's called a catwalk and it's not a dog walk. Now when you look at cats walking, they're so sly, they're so quiet, you can't even hear it. Obviously you're gonna hear the heels that you wear. But what I want to say is that the movement is from heel to toe. That is how you land your feet. It has to be very gentle and very soft, and instead of, you don't put your toe first and then your heel, because tuck, tuck, that shouldn't happen. What a cat does is she puts her heel first and then lands. Heel, toe, heel, toe. This is the best I can explain with my arms here. So yeah, these are a few things, and you have to practice. Like every step that you take, remember you're sucked in, shoulder blades back, and your arms, especially, this is a problem that a lot of people have. When I said relax your fingers, basically your fingers need to be very relaxed. Some people have this problem that sometimes when they're nervous on stage, their pinky finger tends to point outside. So when you're walking, your hand is like this. That doesn't look good. Also, it shouldn't happen that one arm is in sync with your legs and the other one has a mind of its own. Both arms have to be in sync, and they shouldn't be going that walk that you commonly see sometimes in college fashion shows. I've noticed that the arms are going sideways. That is not a walk guys. The arms have to be close to your body slightly. Just the fingers should be barely touching your upper thigh. The arms will be close to your body. Do not flare your arms. It does not look good. That is not the correct walk. And I think yeah, that is the basics covered for the pageant walk. Again, now you'll be asking questions about the turns that you take, the twirls that you take. Guys, all of that depends on the garment you're wearing, and all of it comes with a lot of practice. I'm gonna insert some videos in the description or right here next to me somewhere for the twirls and turns. But I want to express that ramp walk is something that is best taught in person, and I personally learned how to walk from the Kokoperi Institute, which is in Mumbai. And trust me guys, it's very important to have an in-person training. If I had to teach walk to someone, or even when I learned, my trainer, Alisha Rath and Anjali Rath are the trainers at Kokoperi. So they will actually touch your feet. Like she will hold me and tell me, okay, this is your angle. So this training has to be in person. In this video, I'm trying to cover the basics as much as I can. But I would always recommend to have an in-person grooming and training session. And it's not just ramp walk that these institutes teach you. It's also makeup and how to talk and your vocabulary, the way you enunciate. It's a lot of things that you learn over there. So that's why it's called a pageant grooming institute. It's not just ramp walk. And so yeah, so for the twirls, again, a lot of it depends on the garment. Now if you're wearing a dress, you wouldn't put your legs that apart that it doesn't look nice, because when you walk, dresses, sometimes if you haven't bought like the right fabric, the dress will ride up on you. So do not split your legs. The slant position that we do, that only looks good when you're like wearing pants or leggings or jeans or whatever. Basically you don't want to be feeling uncomfortable in the garment that you're wearing. Now if you have an evening gown that has a long trail, then you won't turn right at your position, right? You must have noticed these people take a circle. So if there's a trail, you're going to move like this and then take a circle and then take a turn. Otherwise you're going to trip on your own trail. Another institute that I would like to recommend based on my experience, and it's recently started by Shreya Rao Kamavarapu in Hyderabad itself. The name of the institute is Enchant, and that is also a pageant grooming institute. They've had their first workshop recently, and if for people who cannot go to Mumbai and if you don't want say a 2 weeks course, this is something they've been holding workshops for say 4 or 5 days I think. So if you go to their Instagram handle, you'll be able to see, I think they're going to hold workshops in every month or so. So basically I just want to recommend that through videos you can learn a lot. There are videos by Lou Sierra, there are videos by Pooja Singh and Alisha Rath, Anjali Rath, you can watch. I'll be linking some of their videos down in the description box. You can look at videos, you can try to imitate what they're doing. But at the end, over practice, you don't want to keep practicing something that is wrong. So just to be sure that you're doing the right thing, I would recommend in-person training. So Cocoberry and Enchant are two institutes that I really think are going to be very helpful if you want to learn ramp walk the right way. And one more thing that I like to mention is the basic rules of any walk are the same. Like you have to be graceful and your posture has to be good. But a lot of the turns and the choreography also matters. Sometimes you will not have the choice if your hands will be on your waist or they'll be down. That is decided by the choreographer or the designer. How do they want to display their garments? Also, the shape of the stage is going to matter a lot. Now, when you walk on a T-shaped stage, you're going to walk straight. You either go left or right and do your turn, come back, depending on the choreography. But on international pageants, it's usually like a diamond shaped or a circular shaped stage. So in that, you're not going to be walking in a straight line. So you have to learn how to walk in a curve, take a turn, come back. All of that has to be in-person training and a lot of practice. Obviously, you guys also have rehearsals right before like you actually perform on stage. So now that I've covered all the basics, I just want to say that there is exercises that you can do to help you be better at ramp walk, especially with postural, the basics of posture. I think I have spondylitis, guys. So what spondylitis does is it's a postural disorder, and I would always hunch earlier. And my shoulders would be like this. Like if I have to show you, there was a ball here, there was a hollow here, and my shoulders were like this. So no matter how much I tried, it wouldn't look like I was walking straight. So something that you can do to improve that, what I personally did was, I did a lot of weightlifting for my shoulders specifically. Like if you do those barbell or dumbbell shoulder presses, basically, that's going to increase the strength of your shoulders. And when you do those exercises, you have to be in a very good posture, like straight. Exactly. So that's going to improve the way you walk in general also. Just make it a habit and it has to become muscle memory. Everything that you do has to become muscle memory. One thing that I forgot to mention earlier, for that sway that you get by moving forward, your knee has to bend. Guys, when you walk in heels, do not move like a straight leg like that forward. You have to bend your knee, and then when you land on the feet, you have to flex your knee. Basically, that's why you need a lot of leg exercises as well, so that your thighs and calves look really toned. It's always nice to be in a very good shape when you're doing ramp walk, because it's basically about showing your body and the garment, and the better physique that you have, the better it's gonna look. And in the end, I just want to mention that it's always going to be a learning curve. There's no duration such as, okay, 1 month I'm gonna ace it and I'm gonna be the best at ramp walk. You'll be really good, but there's always a learning curve. You can never stop improving. You can always try, how to handle a different garment. While I was in Miss India, there was one time I had to wear a really short dress. So I had to think, how am I going to turn in this? How is it not going to ride up? How do you look graceful? You don't want to have like any wardrobe mishap at all. So always practice walking in your garment beforehand. During the finale, I had an outfit that had a cape with square holes in it, and I remember I practiced a lot in it so that my heel does not get stuck in one of those holes, otherwise I would have tripped on stage. So I remember that I had practiced a lot before the finale to walk in that. And similarly, if you have a gown or a lehenga which has a lot of can, if you call it, the filling inside, you have to practice. You have to kick a lehenga when you walk, because if you're not going to kick it, you won't be able to move forward. Sometimes the garments are that heavy. So yeah, I think I've covered a lot of the basics now, and I'm going to wrap up this video. Leave any questions that you have in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys in my next video.